The United States this week sanctioned Medisar LLC, one of Armenia's largest industrial and laboratory chemical importers, as Washington and its allies continue to tighten export controls on Russia. A Medisar executive who wished to remain anonymous confirmed to Radio Azatutun that the company had re-exported products from the United States and European Union to Russia, but insisted that those actions did not violate Armenian law. Data from Armenia's customs agency reviewed by the investigative outlet HETK show that last year Medisar exported electronic integrated circuits, diodes, transistors, and semiconductors to Russia. It marks the third time since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine that companies registered in Armenia have fallen afoul of export controls imposed by the United States, which has specifically named Armenia as one of several transshipment points used to evade sanctions. Washington previously blacklisted Malur Electronics LLC, alleging that the company is being used as a front for the Russian microelectronics producer Melander in its foreign dealings. Before that, it sanctioned Taco LLC for supplying components to Radio Avtomatica, a Russian defense procurement firm. At a press conference this week, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan acknowledged Armenia's deep economic and strategically important relations with Russia, but warned that the country cannot afford to be placed under Western sanctions. Trade between Armenia and Russia nearly doubled last year to top $5 billion, raising questions about Armenia's role re-exporting foreign-made products to the world's most sanctioned country. Tbilisi this week directly denied Yerevan's announcement that Armenian companies could begin trading on a new maritime route connecting Georgian and Russian ports. Earlier, Armenia's economy ministry said a weekly ferry would begin transporting Armenian cargo via the Black Sea from the Georgian port of Batumi to the Russian port of Novorossiysk, adding that the Armenian government will subsidize the costs. Meanwhile, the state-run Armen Press news agency reported that 2 cargo ships sailed the route last month as a trial run. In response, Georgia's Maritime Transport Agency said that news of a regular Batumi-Novorossiysk route does not correspond to reality, while confirming the 2 shipments Armen Press reported. The agency said they were one-offs and did not mark the launch of a regular trade route. A spokesperson for Armenia's economy ministry did not respond to a CivilNet request for comment on Tbilisi's rejection of Yerevan's announcement. At present, Armenia's only route to Russia runs through Georgia's Upper Lars border crossing. Over the years, regular delays at Upper Lars due to its position in a narrow mountain pass and inclement weather, particularly in wintertime, have led to repeated calls to develop an alternate route. Last year, the Armenian government indefinitely postponed plans for a Black Sea route to Russia via the Georgian port of Poti after the port's Dutch operator cited European Union sanctions against Moscow. Armenia's Economic Activity Index, an indicator that closely approximates GDP growth, has increased by 12.2% year-on-year since January, suggesting that the country's record economic expansion last year has continued unabated this year. Announcing the figures, Economy Minister Vahan Karobyan noted that Armenia's economy has now posted double-digit growth figures for a dozen consecutive months. Last year, Armenia's economy grew by 12.6%, one of the highest annual expansion rates the country has recorded since the collapse of the Soviet Union more than 3 decades ago. That came on the back of soaring trade with Russia and a massive influence of Russian labor and capital to the country after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. At a summit of former Soviet countries in Moscow this week, Russian President Vladimir Putin urged leaders in the region to follow Armenia's economic example. "It will be difficult for us to keep up with Armenia," Putin added. In a regional update earlier this month, the International Monetary Fund forecast Armenia's real GDP to grow by 5.5% this year, noting short-term benefits from the war in Ukraine while also warning of longer-term risks. That is the highest expansion forecast for any country in the Caucasus and Central Asia region and well above the expected regional average of 4.2% growth. And finally, Sisyan Bogosyan, the head of Armenia's tourism committee, stopped by CivilNet this week to talk about how she and her team are planning to make this year a record-breaking year for tourism in Armenia. You can find the full interview now on our website and YouTube channel. And as always, please follow CivilNet on all your favorite social media platforms for the latest updates and independent reporting from Armenia, Nagorno-Karabakh, and the region.